to another one. If you're new to the channel, I am Gold Penny, the new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we are in the brand new 2026 Cadillac Vistiq, courtesy of Faulkner Cadillac in Mechanicsburg, PA. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we are in this one because this is an all-new model for the 2026 model year. It's an electric all-wheel drive 3-row SUV from Cadillac. It's called the Baby Escalade quite often, and it's all the luxury you'd expect from Cadillac, but it has over 600 horsepower. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so as you can imagine, there are several different trim levels for the 2026 Vistiq. First one being the luxury, starting at $79,090. Then you got the sport, which is the one we are in today, going for $79,590. Premium luxury for $93,590. And lastly, the platinum, going for $98,190. But regardless of the trim level that you go with, the power plant is going to be the same. Powering this beast will be dual electric motors, putting out 615 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque, power sent to all four wheels. 0 to 60 time, get ready. This is a 3-row SUV, approximately 3.7 seconds. That is absolute madness. Max range is going to come in at 305 miles. It's plenty respectable there. And actually, here's a nice little stat for you. You can actually add 79 miles of range to this thing in only 10 minutes. It's getting better. Electric charging times are getting better, and I absolutely love that. Anyways, before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in the Vistiq, I did want to mention to you guys drive modes. Drive modes are adjusted through the infotainment screen here, but there's plenty of them. Drive modes will include Tour, Snow and Ice, Sport, My Mode, and Velocity Max, adjusting things like the throttle response, the steering sensitivity, the damping control settings, braking responsiveness, and vehicle sound enhancement as well. So now, having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put this thing here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2026 Vistiq here up to speed. All right, found our straightaway here in 3, 2, 1, go! Oh my gosh. That's nice. That is fun, man. The instant acceleration of electric cars are absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that this is a large 3-row SUV and it still puts out that kind of ridiculous acceleration, and it's so freakishly quiet as well. You wouldn't even tell that I was going as fast as I was, because this is an electric car with perfect insulation. And we'll get more to the cabin noise later, but absolutely ridiculous acceleration for what this vehicle is. I love it. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so, as expected, you will find 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes coming standard. If you go with the Platinum, you also get Brembo front brakes with assist piston front calipers, which you would think would also be on the Sport, seeing as the name is Sport. So anyways, do you like that the added braking power is the least available as far as braking feel goes? It's okay. It kind of feels like an electric braking feel, quite honestly. I would imagine if you go with the Brembo brakes, it's going to be substantially better braking power, but it's okay. It gets the job done. I'll just put it that way. But then touching on suspension and handling, a 4-wheel independent sport suspension will come standard. Again, an adaptive damping suspension coming standard actually for all trim levels as well. So what that does is it monitors each shock absorber individually, not only adjusting to the road imperfections, giving you a smoother ride, but it also tightens up that suspension during heavy cornering, giving you better handling as well. So that's one I always personally like to recommend. But if you were to go with the premium luxury or the platinum, you also get an adaptive air suspension. So those two trim levels are definitely going to give you your smoothest ride. Also wanted to mention, with those two trim levels, you also get active rear steering, which is pretty cool. That's something I first saw in the Mercedes S-Class. So what it does is it steers the rear wheels up to 3.5 degrees, which is actually more than the S-Class, believe it or not. So that's going to give you a better turning radius. It's also going to give you a little better handling as well. So love that that is there. But overall, as far as ride quality goes, it's actually been perfectly fine in my short little test drive today. I love the ride quality here on this baby Escalade that we have with us here today. So definitely no issues there. As far as steering feel goes, Even in sport driving mode, it's on the looser side of things. If I were to put it in tour driving mode, loosens up even more, but I don't have an issue with it. This isn't a sports car after all. I didn't expect it to be a heavy steering feel, but I'll just say it feels pretty much like you would expect the Vistiq to feel like. I'll just put it that way. But the coolest thing about the Vistiq, and this is the first thing I noticed when I got in this one, is the lack of cabin noise. This is an incredibly serene cabin, and that's due in part because, well, it's an electric vehicle. Because it's an electric vehicle, though, you get an acoustic laminated front windshield and also acoustic laminated front side glass. And that's something that's even an option on other luxury automakers. So that is something that I am a huge fan of, and that contributes to the extremely serene cabin. I'm gonna be quiet for a few seconds here. I'm going 53 miles per hour. I'll let you guys be the judge of the cabin noise right now. So yeah, that is perfectly fine for me. Take my word for it. It's an incredibly serene cabin in this thing. Then taking a look at rear visibility, this is good on so many different levels. For one, I can see perfectly fine out of my rear view mirror, but even if the cargo area was packed to the very top, because I'm going on a road trip to Ocean City, Maryland or something like that, I just hit the little lever just underneath of that rear view mirror, and it's a rear camera mirror then, because the camera's mounted on the outside of the Vistiq. I actually can see perfectly fine behind me then, even if in the cargo area it's piled up to the very top. So I am a big fan of that as well. But then touching on forward visibility, rain sensing windshield wipers do come standard on this thing. So whenever the Vistiq detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on the windshield wipers for you. So one less thing you got to worry about there. And then with the premium luxury and the platinum, you also get an augmented reality head-up display, which we don't have with us here today. That would have been super cool, but that's going to project your speed limit and safety features and navigation information up onto your windshield, so better helping you keep your eyes on the road yet again, so you can better enjoy the drive in this thing, because it is quite fun. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2026 Cadillac Vistiq. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2026 Cadillac Vistiq, giving you a little light show here to start the review. This thing is so stinking cool, but let's go ahead and start with where this one is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the number 1, indicating that the Vistiq is built and assembled in the US, specifically Tennessee, in case you were curious. But starting up front, you do have an illuminated front grille and illuminated emblem as well. You gotta love that. To the sides, LED headlights with lighting choreography, as you guys saw at the beginning of this walk around here. That was pretty cool. LED daytime running lights as well. You get the automatic feature with those. You also get automatic high beams. So if you have your high beams on at night, and since it's a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up to high beams for you there. So that's pretty stinking cool. And as far as the colors go, I always like to mention if there's any unique colors. I found 2 of them. There's a Emerald Lake Metallic that goes for $625. It's like a rich emerald green. And then there's a Celestial Metallic that goes for $625. And that's like a 2-toned color. It's so stinking cool looking. It's like a bluish purple, but those are the 2 colors that caught my attention. I like the black too. Black always looks good on Cadillac, but those are the 2 that I would probably go with. But that pretty much rounds out the front end of this one. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of the Vistiq, all the way to the top, you will find roof rails for all trim levels across the board. You're going to find either chrome or gloss black upper window trim. We got the gloss black because we got the sport trim level, of course. Rear privacy glass does come standard. Taking a look at the side mirrors, they are body colored power adjustable side mirrors. They will be heated with LED integrated turn signals. They're power folding, and on the driver's side, you also get a driver's side auto dimming side mirror as well, which is even rare in luxury automakers, so I like seeing that. Front fender accents, you guys can see that. You got the Cadillac logo there. Flush door handles as well, at least when it's in motion. Obviously, they're popped out a little bit now because I got it parked, but anyways, to take a look down at the wheel setup, 20-inch silver alloys for the luxury, 21-inch diamond cut alloys for our sport trim level here, 22-inch diamond cut alloys for the premium luxury, and 22-inch reverse rim alloys for the platinum. But that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the back. All right, so but now since we are around to the back of this one, yet again, the taillights are doing a little dance for us. That is so cool. But anyways, body color shark fin antenna all the way to the top, rear spoiler with an integrated brake light. If you're wondering where the rear window wiper is, in typical Cadillac fashion, it's actually tucked up underneath, so it's not affixed to the rear glass there for a little better visibility. I liked that. LED taillights, like I was saying, and yes, they do a little animation for you, so I like that as well. And of course, since this is an electric vehicle, typically I'll do an exhaust clip here, but there's no exhaust. It's an electric vehicle, but I do like the little accents towards the bottom. That looks pretty good. But since we're back here, let's now go ahead and take a look at the cargo area of the Vistiq. All right, zooming out this wheel around to the back of the Vistiq. When it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it's actually an auto sense power tailgate. So you just walk up behind it, it senses the key, and if you stand there long enough, it's going to open up automatically for you. That is pretty cool. That's not how I would open it though, but there is a button on the key fob. You press that twice, but the way I would open this one is the Cadillac logo. The Cadillac logo is the 007 hidden way. You just simply press that and it actually opens up for you. And that is the way that nobody else is going to know but you, because you're watching this video. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button and like the video right now if you haven't already, and let's continue. Once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 15.2 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, the third row does fold down, bumping that up to 43 cubic feet. And then with all rows folded, that comes in at 80.2 cubic feet. So anything over 80, in my opinion, is quite substantial. That's plenty of space back there. Got some chrome plated tie-down anchors back there. There's LED cargo lighting as well. Then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a good bit, substantial bit of in-floor storage. So big fan of that as well. But then making our way up to the third row legroom, that comes in at 30.6 inches. For reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the third row there. Rear ventilation does come standard for all 3 rows. Of course, you got cup holders for those third row passengers. Nice comfy armrest actually back there for those third row passengers as well. Dual rear USB charging ports for the third row as well. And if you did have taller individuals in the third row, the second row does slide forward, of course, a little bit if you did need it to make some more rear legroom back there. But then make your way up to the second row legroom. That comes in at 40.1 inches. That is substantial. For reference, I'm still an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the second row there. Dual rear USB charging ports coming standard. You're going to find bench seating for the luxury and the sport, and then captain's chairs for the premium luxury and the platinum. Captain's chairs are obviously optional on the sport though, so that's why we have them there. Heated second row seats though come standard for all trim levels across the board. I love that. The other cool thing is just above the rear ventilation back here, you actually have kind of like an infotainment screen for the second row passengers, and of course that adjusts the climate control settings. It's not actually an infotainment screen like playing movies or anything, but that is definitely pretty stinking cool as well. The only thing I would have loved to have seen for the second row passengers at least is rear window sunshades. I think that would be pretty cool, but anyways, it's all good. And then making our way up to the front seats, power adjustable front seats with 4-way power lumbar coming standard, heated and ventilated front seats also coming standard, massaging front seats also coming standard for all trim levels across the board. You got memory settings for the premium, luxury, and the platinum trim levels, and that's for up to 2 different drivers there. And as far as adjusting the seats, the buttons aren't actually located on the seats. They're located on the doors, exactly like Mercedes-Benz does, in case you guys are familiar with that. And then the circular dial just in front of it all, that's going to be your power lumbar adjustment. So I liked that. And by the way, seating was plenty comfortable, especially the headrest. These are some of the most comfortable headrests I think I've ever experienced. But then taking a look at the steering wheel, I love the steering wheel here. It is tilt and telescoping. It is power adjustable and it is heated as well. And I love how it doesn't have that center spoke at the bottom. It's just a 2-spoke steering wheel. So it definitely looks good in my opinion. Then make your way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key. You got your Cadillac logo on the one side. When you flip it over, lock, unlock, that circular button ×2, that's going to be your remote start, of course, and the button to pop the rear tailgate there. Remote start comes standard on all trim levels, by the way, but it is all keyless entry, and there's actually no push button start. The way you start this one up is simply press your foot on the brake and it automatically turns on for you. Then you can shift into gear and start going. So it's a pretty smart car. But let's go ahead and make our way to the gauges. What you are looking at is a curved 33-inch diagonal LED display, and that counts the infotainment screen. Of course, it's all one big screen basically, and it looks pretty darn good. And actually you do have the ability to adjust the look of the gauges up there as well. On the left hand side of the screen, I can press energy, and that gives me how many miles I have left to a charge, and also a digital speedometer. There's a clean look, which is basically just your digital speedometer. So there's a bunch of different looks you could do up there. You could do a full map setup, a full Google Map setup up there as well. And I like that they use Google Maps. That looks really, really crisp and high quality up there. So a lot of different looks you could play around with. Gives you outside temperature, the day of the week, the date, pretty much everything you could possibly want up there. So Cadillac did a good job with that. Now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. A panoramic dual pane power sunroof does come standard, and that goes all the way through the second row there. However, I will say, with this being Cadillac, I would have loved to have seen like a frosted glass option like Volkswagen does with their ID Buzz, or like an LED lounge moonroof like BMW does, where it kind of makes the illusion of like stars up there. So anyway, Cadillac, just some room for improvement there if you wanted to. LED interior lighting does come standard. You got HomeLink controls for up to 3 different garage doors found in the bottom portion of that frameless rear view mirror there. 126 colors of ambient lighting. That's something they crushed. That is a ton of different options there. Wireless phone charger coming standard. You get 5-zone climate control coming standard. So driver, passenger, the rear passengers can each set their own individual temperature, and third row passengers get one temperature they can adjust as well, which is kind of nuts. And I love this LED interior lighting up top here, because just behind it, it has this really nice texturized finish. So yeah, very high quality finishes here in this thing. Also, just underneath of the wireless phone charger here, you got some wood trim and a ton of hidden storage kind of underneath, where you could probably put like a purse or something like that. A little bit more storage just to the right of the driver's seat as well. And I love the circular dial and buttons that you can adjust the infotainment screen with as well. It's a very high quality glass-like circular dial with the Cadillac logo in the middle. You got ambient lighting surrounding the cup holders with a nice texturized design to the cup holders as well. Then within the center armrest, there's a ton of storage there, along with the USB charging port. And the other thing is the aluminum speaker covers that are located absolutely everywhere in this thing. We'll be testing out that sound system in a second here, but speaking of, let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen now. And again, this is part of the 33-inch diagonal screen, and it's a 9K resolution, by the way, in case you were curious. Bluetooth and audio streaming up there. There's no Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Unfortunately, I guess it's unfortunate, I've gotten used to it, so I'm a big fan of it now. But anyways, to replace that, you do have a Google-based navigation system up there, of course. You can adjust your ambient lighting settings up there. You can check out your charging status at any given time. There's quite a bit you can check out up there, but including your radio information, of course. So when it comes to the sound system, there is one of them for all trim levels. It is a 23 speaker. That's so many speakers, probably the most I've ever heard of. AKG sound system. So I think you guys know what we have to do now. Let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing this morning, and let's test out our 23 speaker sound system that we have with us here today. Dude, it was vibrating the hairs on my legs. That is how intense this sound system is. And that's a good thing, by the way. Everyone wants that. But it's a ton of bass, crystal clear sound system. And again, the speaker covers, they go all the way into the third row. And I feel like every single one of them is aluminum as well. So very high-end look to them. It's an incredible sound system for this thing. But anyways, last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on that infotainment screen is when you do put this one in reverse, you will find an extremely high definition rear view camera. You also have a surround view monitor there to the left as well, and a ton of different views, letting you know who or what is behind you, which is always is going to lead us into safety. And so front side curtain airbags do come standard. You get driver and passenger knee airbags up front as well. In the back, you got latch, aka lower anchors to tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, a ton of advanced safety, of course. That includes driver attention assist, traffic sign recognition, a teen driver mode, which prevents your teen driver from turning off the safety features. And if they do, it's logged in the system, so you're going to know about it. Adaptive cruise control, blind spot steering assist, front pedestrian and bikeless, braking, forward collision alert, rear cross traffic alert, and automatic emergency braking then as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the Vistiq, this thing is stupid quick. 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds for an extremely large 3-row SUV. That's pretty cool. Also, 70 miles of charge in 10 minutes. That's pretty remarkable as well. I love that. Great interior quality, of course. Like I said, I already mentioned all of that. Plenty of space. It's over 80 cubic feet. The only thing in the back of my mind, if I were to get this, and maybe it won't matter because this is a higher priced vehicle, and a lot of times with higher priced vehicles, it doesn't matter. But what I'm going to say is, I don't think it's going to hold its value as much as like a gasoline powered vehicle would. And I'm just saying that because that's typically how it is for all electric vehicles right now. It doesn't matter if it's Tesla or Cadillac or Hyundai or whoever it is. Electric cars just don't hold their value right now for whatever reason. But if you got a lot of money to afford a vehicle like this, maybe it doesn't matter as much. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think of the new Vistiq in the comments section below. That's about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media stuff somewhere on the screen if you wanted to see what's coming next on the channel. Before it gets to YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what we've been doing on this channel for 11 years now. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.
Life could be a dream, sweet